FNAF Security Breach is about 6 months old now, and with no DLC on the horizon, and the updates to the game doing next to nothing to patch out the existing bugs, we have a game that's largely unchanged despite months of basically nothing. So with this game's final presentation and full display, we can accurately assess this game and its shortcomings.
It's beautiful!
Full disclosure, I love how this game looks. Disregarding the visual bugs, this game looks really nice. Far better than I can ever imagine FNAF being. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at, with all the neon lights and slick models making it a very visually impressive game to look at. Sticking with the theme of graphics, I adore the designs of new animatronics. However, this comes with the caveat of this game being incredibly unoptimized. It would take a PC from fucking NASA to run this thing at 60 FPS, let alone run it with like ray tracing and stuff. This game will make your PC sound like a hairdryer. Overall, the game looks great, but expect frequent frame rate drops, especially when you load new areas. It's also worth mentioning that the game is freaking huge, requiring 80 gigs at launch and over 60 gigs as of now. I could excuse all that if it wasn't for the gameplay of Security Breach is a different beast entirely. The game itself is a free roam survival horror game, and instead of being stuck inside an office for 6 hours, you complete linear objectives that progress the in-game time up to 6 AM. The start of the game actually managed to scare me pretty damn well, and it does this by being really linear. Having carefully crafted environments where you have to use stealth and map knowledge to make your way through it without getting killed is scary, but this is completely thrown out of the window once you get further and further into the game, since it becomes painfully obvious that you don't have an objective marker or any kind of visual indicator for where you're supposed to go or where your objective is. This is a where the fuck do I go kind of game at its finest. This caused me and a number of other people who played this game to almost flat out quit playing it because we literally spent like up to an hour trying to find where the hell we were supposed to go. The reason that this isn't a big deal in the early game but becomes a giant issue in the late game is due to security badge levels. The game keeps you on the right path by locking off irrelevant doors with security badge levels, so that way you're never straying too far from where you need to go. Once you get higher security clearance, that just gives you more places to get lost. Which happened to me during the Roxanne Wolf Raceway segment where you had to get the damaged head. And I couldn't for the life of me find it, and I spent an hour searching the Pizzaplex trying to find it. Even without getting lost for an hour and a half, all horror for this game just goes completely out of the window once you get access to weapons. Around halfway through the game, you can choose between either the Phaser Blaster or the Phaz Cam, both of which can blind and disorient animatronics when you shoot them. However, when your horror game is completely based off of you being helpless, giving the player a very easy way to break line of sight and give yourself a lot of distance in chases really takes away from the helpless feeling and really kills the horror that the game has at its beginning. Unless you're of course a map bot who comes out of literally nowhere and spooks the shit out of me every time I run across them.
Please take this map.
Saving in this game is so bad that it requires its own miniature rant. This game does not autosave outside of a very small and select few times after major story events. This means that all saving must be done manually, meaning that not taking every opportunity to save will bite you in the ass. This is exacerbated by the save stations not working once you initiate dangerous gameplay situations. The best example off the top of my head is during the Pizza Bot segment, where you have to get through a stealth segment with Chica, go to the security office, and retrieve a security badge. Getting this badge makes the save station inside the office unusable. This means that dying during the Pizza Bot segment forces you to replay the entire stealth segment over again. There is no warning that getting the badge disables your ability to save, coming as a massive kick in the nuts if you mess up on the Pizza Bot segment, which I did. While this is just one particular instance, you can imagine this lack of warning from the game and the lack of autosave functionality makes retreading ground a very common occurrence in this game. This isn't even bringing up the big elephant in the room, the end game. Now, to give some credit to the devs, this was fixed in the major February update to the game. However, this resulted in 2 months of the end game being borderline unplayable. For those of you who don't know, on launch, staying in the Pizzaplex after 6 a.m. caused every single save station to become inoperable. This wouldn't be so bad, but the issue is that many of the endings required you to do extra stuff on top of just surviving, such as killing Chica or Monty, scouring the entire map for golden plushies, scouring the map to play the arcade machines, and a final battle with burntrap. All of this while any death results in you getting sent back to 6 a.m. where you started, potentially wiping out hours of progress off the face of the earth. The only way to get around this was by using another glitch to get the racer bot head again, reverting the time back to 5 a.m. and allowing the use of saves once more. But I'm not excusing poorly thought out game decisions due to a bug that gets around it. The AI in this game is notoriously bad, with AI completely dropping whatever they're doing to seek out distractions, either forgetting your existence when you hide or finding you for no reason, very obviously teleporting, and reusing the main crew, Vanny, and the endoskeleton bots over and over and over again. In particular, Moondrop can be completely broken just by triggering all the distraction cans in the daycare blackout, causing him to sadly stand in place for the entire segment. This game also puts Bethesda to shame in its lack of ambient dialogue lines, with every bot recycling the same quotes over and over again through the many hours you'll spend avoiding them.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
The amount of times I've heard Roxanne Wolf verbally assault me is astonishing.
She is such a bad bitch though!
Oh no! It's broken!
This is the main part you came for. FPS drops, using Freddy to clip through doors, using Freddy to deload the entire map, entering a hiding spot from an elevation to deload the map, spawning an army of Monties, time travel, and an any percent speed run of less than 5 minutes. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. In all fairness, the February update fixes a lot of the glitches listed here. That's a backhanded compliment when the exact same glitches can literally be pulled off with minimal extra effort. Instead of being able to trigger glitches in your sleep, you actually have to put in some thought into cheesing your way through this game.
Purple guy!
FNAF and an understandable plot go together like Red Bull and milk. Like every other FNAF game, the story is vague, hidden, convoluted, and largely unconfirmed. You'll basically need a bachelor's in FNAF lore to understand this game's story. So if you even want to begin to understand it, fire up a YouTube explanation, because I am not gonna try to decipher it here. Even if I tried to explain it, I'd probably get 95% of the information incorrect. To sum it up, there's like 5 different endings, none of which are particularly good, and only about 2 of them are actually pre-rendered cutscenes. The rest of them are cheap comic book drawings with no voice acting, making the rest of them feel very rushed and unrewarding.
Freddy Fazbear, what happened?
Overall, Security Breach is a visually spectacular glitch fest of a game that was borderline unplayable at launch and became passable after a major update 2 months into its lifespan. As someone who adores FNAF, I still play the shit out of this game, but I can admit that it is a fundamentally flawed one that suffers greatly from bugs, poor gameplay decisions, lack of a coherent story, and atrocious AI. Would I recommend this game? Not at full price. If you find a good sale on it, it wouldn't hurt to play, but considering that a PC powerful enough to play this game costs like $8 trillion, you probably won't have money afterwards to buy this anyways. I rank this game a solid 3 out of 10, with the graphics, nostalgia, and very scary early game saving it from being a 0. Thank you all for watching my Security Breach review. This is going to be my first video on YouTube, so it would really help me and my channel if you were to like and comment. And while you're here, consider subscribing. It costs $0.00, and it takes less than 5 seconds to do. And you can just unsubscribe if you don't like my content. That's all from me. I will see y'all next time.